Hi, this is Amy at the Virtual Planetarium at Raritan Valley Community College. Let's take a look at some of the things we can see in the sky for the week of August 2nd. In the southern sky, we see a bright reddish star called Antares. Its name means rival of Mars because it has a similar reddish color to the planet. It is a red supergiant star, much larger than our sun. If you put Antares where our sun is, its outer edges would reach to somewhere between Mars and Jupiter. The official name for this constellation is Scorpius the Scorpion. There are 88 official constellations in the sky, but many more asterisms or star pictures that we've made up on our own. Next to Scorpius is the constellation Sagittarius, the Archer. And Sagittarius looks something like a teapot in the sky. So it is easy to see when you play connect the dots. The body of the teapot, a curved handle, a triangle-shaped top, and a triangle-shaped spout. It takes a bit more imagination to see a centaur. I find it a lot easier to see the teapot in the sky. The ecliptic is the path that the sun takes through the sky over the course of the year. So the sun travels along this path, and we'll find the moon and planets near this path as well. The sun moves in front of 13 constellations, not just the 12 zodiac constellations you may be familiar with. Between Scorpius and Sagittarius is another constellation called Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus, the serpent holder. And if you look at the ecliptic here, the sun spends only a short period of time in front of the stars of Scorpius and a lot more time in front of the stars of Ophiuchus. The sun only spends about 9 days in Scorpius and many more, about 3 times that many, in Ophiuchus before going in front of the stars of Sagittarius. As I mentioned, we've got some planets here. The brightly shining one is Jupiter. If you have a pair of binoculars, take them outside and look at Jupiter. You may be able to see 4 star-like objects. Galileo wasn't sure what these were. It took him many observations to finally determine that they are moons going around Jupiter. And we now call these the Galilean moons. They are the 4 largest moons of Jupiter. Not far from Jupiter these days is the planet Saturn. Now take your telescope outside and look at Saturn, and you may be able to see the rings going around this planet. Galileo saw them also. He wasn't ever able to figure out what was going on with Saturn, why it looked like it had ears or maybe 3 large objects for this planet. Now, we do know now that Saturn has rings, and the rings are not solid. They are made of millions of pieces of ice and dust and rock that are all going around the planet, created when 2 or more moons collided together and broke apart. All right, we were looking at the south. Let's turn around and face north. We have our northern horizon. There's the letter N. And in the northern sky, at 9 p.m., we can see the Big Dipper right there. 3 stars make up the handle, and 4 stars form the bowl or the pot. So it looks like a giant pot in the sky. And the Big Dipper helps us find the Little Dipper. Use the pointer stars, the 2 stars in the bowl of the Big Dipper, the ones farthest from the handle. Draw a line through them, and they point you right to Polaris, the North Star. And Polaris is the last star in the handle of the Little Dipper. Now, the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper are not constellations. They are asterisms, or star pictures that we've made up by using our imagination. The Big Dipper is inside of the Big Bear, or Ursa Major. The Little Dipper is inside of Ursa Minor, the Little Bear. If we turn and face northwest and west, we can use the Big Dipper to find some more stars and constellations. Back in the spring, we learned the saying, "Let's take a tour of the Ark." So we're using the handle of the Big Dipper. Let's take a tour of the Ark to Arcturus and speed on to Spica. Those are the names of these 2 bright stars. Arcturus is a red giant star in the constellation Boötes, and Spica is a blue giant star in the constellation Virgo, the Maiden. All right, let's go back to Polaris, and we'll focus on Polaris. Now we're going to speed up time. And as we get time moving forward, you can see that Polaris seems to stand still, and it looks like all of the other stars are making a great big circle around it. Polaris stands still because it's right over the Earth's North Pole. The other stars are rising in the east and setting in the west. But some, like the stars of the Big Dipper, are hugging the horizon but not quite going below the horizon. Stars that are up for all time, all 24 hours of the day above the horizon, are called circumpolar stars. Circumpolar stars because they circle the pole star. Let's turn around and look south because we sped up time and it's now 4 in the morning. If we look in the south, up high in the sky, we can see the planet Mars. Mars is rising at around 11 p.m. these days. So by 4 in the morning, if you're an early riser, you will see Mars up high in the sky. Last week, we blasted off a spacecraft to Mars, which contains the Perseverance rover and the Ingenuity helicopter. So we're looking forward to those landing on Mars in February 2021. Here's the moon, still looking full. It was full on August 3rd, and I currently have the sky set for the early morning hours of August 4th, so it still looks full. Full moons rise at sunset and set at sunrise. But the moon is orbiting the Earth. It's moving around the Earth. So each successive day, the moon will rise about 50 minutes later than it did the day before. And that places it in a slightly different place in our sky. We'll see it slowly shrinking from full moon through waning gibbous phases. And this week we'll see it moving towards the planet Mars as well. The waning gibbous phases are visible during the daytime hours in the morning. So if we speed up time and we look at the sky after the sun rises, we can see that the sky is blue, daytime sky, and the moon is still there, smiling down at us. Well, speaking of the moon, the phases we have coming up are full moon on August 3rd. That is called the Sturgeon moon. The last quarter moon is on August 11th, and the new moon is August 18th. Well, thank you very much for joining me at our virtual planetarium. Please subscribe to our channel and like our video. We look forward to seeing you in our real planetarium in the future. Until then, keep looking up.